That's my jam. Welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not gonna happen this video, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, everybody, and hello from Mr. Best, who is chuckling at James.
I know I ain't got no sense, y'all. I don't. But thank you for Mrs. Best being here today. You guys subscribe to my girl's channel. We any recaps or reviews I do not cover on my channel. It's because we're at her channel covering them. We have Love and Hip Hop, both Miami and Atlanta. We have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The last episode of the season finale, or no, reunion. Sorry, reunion part 3 will be this week. We also are picking up The Valley and Real Housewives of Miami, which will be here in June. Mrs. Best got a lot of things going on, and I will be right there with her to go ahead and go in on these headlines.
Oh, the
So
Valley is back this week.
yes, I know we're gonna do
Wish
that.
us luck.
Yes. And while you subscribing to us, please subscribe to Shana underscore MCD's channel. She has 2 channels. Her original channel, which she is trying to get remonetized. I got to touch base on her to see where she is on that. And then also, she has a backup channel that she is trying to get monetized, which I'm hoping she has done that. We're going to have Shana on my channel soon. So she'll go ahead and give us the update of where she is. And we're just hoping that she is monetized because not only does she deserve it, but she was one of the first YouTubers to ever embrace me. And I'm always going to pay homage to her. So subscribe to her channel, show her some love because she deserves it nonetheless. So Shani has been here. She's always first. I gotta shout out my girl, my other co-host here. So thank you so much for being here. I definitely appreciate you, my love bug. Thank you so much. She also saying what's up to Mrs. Best's husband as well, Mr. Oso Best, who over there laughing at me still, but that's all right. That's all right. You know, it's okay. That's my brother, so that's all good. So y'all, if y'all have not seen the caption, this is Love and Marriage Detroit, Season 2, Episode 7. This show is back after being gone for 6 months. And I'm going to tell y'all like this, I forgot what the fuck didn't happen with all of these people. I don't know who's beefing with who. I don't know who has a problem with who. So y'all can imagine when I was watching this episode, how shocked I was to see what the beefs were. Carlos, we need better shit. We need better shit. I cannot do this. I cannot. I've dropped this show once before. I will do it again. No, I won't because I need the content, but whatever. So, we open up the show with Brandon and Christina. They're at their house talking to their little girls. And the little girl, one day, little girls asked him, why did he leave the home? And Brandon was like, I just had to leave because I wasn't sure if I wanted to be your mother's husband. I wanted to always be your father, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to be your husband. So I had to leave. I'm looking at this like, what kind of shit is that? And if I was Christina, I'd be like, what the fuck do you mean you didn't know if you wanted to be my damn husband? But it's his truth and it's honest. And Christina ain't no walk in the park, so I can somewhat understand. But at the end of the day, she don't deserve this. But they had to have some tough conversations with the girls about where they are going, what's going to happen next, and that dad is actually in the house. He's going to stay, and he's going to make sure that they never miss a beat of him. And I thought that was a cute little scene. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that scene?
They are the example of why family therapy should be utilized.
Yes.
You disrupt these girls' house and all normalcy that they have known. You are their only example of what love in a relationship should look like. And you choose to tell them, Daddy didn't know this. Now, some people will be like, oh, at least he didn't put it all on Christina. But these girls see their mom doing what she's doing and trying for him. And then to come and tell them, Daddy didn't know if he wanted to be with mommy is toxic, in my opinion. When these little girls grow up and start making stupid decisions when dating, not acknowledging the clear signals that somebody is not interested because they saw their mama ignore it and let someone back in and daddy gaslight his way, then it will make sense. It's good to have fathers in your life, but not if they are not teaching you your worth. I remember when my parents separated, my dad came and talked to me and my sister. We were the only kids at the time. And he was like, me and your mom is going through some things, but I want you guys to know that you should make the best choice for you and make sure that you're always being treated with respect. And you should always feel happy and respected in your household and relationship. I feel like that's a better segue. Mind you, my dad has no background in counseling or anything, but I feel like that would have been a better way to approach it. I don't like how they did this on camera. It just feels like they're trying to use their kids as a way to like bring their storyline together in full circle or to make us care more for the separation. And the reality of it is, for those who watched season one of this show, this is a couple that never should have gotten married, let alone engaged. So it's unfortunate, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, we have to see what happens. Because for me, ugh, they're something else, both of them. You know. But that was pretty much it with them. We wish them best luck because they have little baby girls and they're so adorable. And I'm just like, please, try to be civil with each other if you can't do nothing else. So I'm hoping for Brandon and Christina nonetheless. We then move on over to my favorite, Dr. Minnie Mouse with her old crazy ass, and her husband, Antonia. So at the house, they have their kids, and they have a son that's entering seventh grade, and you know, Dr. Minnie Mouse says that she's so busy with her life and paying the bills and supporting the family, her practice. She can't really be the most present mom, and she got a little bit of mom guilt. It hits at her, Dr. Minnie Mouse. So Antonia says that, me and the kids get along great. We have great conversations. So she turns to her son, who's now in seventh grade, that's a change of life period. And she, says, "So how's school going? Do you have any how your friends and everything?" And Tonya, like, "Oh yeah, he got some good friends, some good homeboys, they real good." And Tonya, we talking to the little boy. We not talking to you. So Dr. Minnie Mouse said, "Okay, well, and in the conversation, do you have a girlfriend?" He said, "No, I ain't got no girlfriend." And the brother, like, "Yeah, he got a girlfriend." And you could tell he's camera shy. You can tell he did not want to be on camera. You could tell that that's a little awkward for him. So, I felt like, damn, get him off camera if he don't want to be on there. Dr. Minnie Mouse and Antonia, get him off of there. So, um, after the kids, kind of go, Antonia explains to Dr. Minnie Mouse is that the reason why they don't open up to you is because you're a perfectionist. You're on them about everything, and you put so much, emphasis on them trying to be perfect as well that they don't come to you with certain things. They only come to me, and she feels, slighted by that. And in her confessional, she's like, maybe I am too hard on my sons, but I just want them to, be great, do great, be the best. They are young black men. So I want to make sure that they understand that mama loves you, but you have to have ordinance in life. Now, I don't disagree with that. I don't. I don't disagree with that, but I want Dr. Minnie Mouse to have balance. I want her to have, like, okay, you could be the dominant perfectionist parent where you want them to have ordinance, but at the same time, you need to also teach them that life is fun too. That was one of my issues with growing up, is that I had to be so responsible that I didn't realize that life could be fun too. And I have a fun ass parent who raised me. So I'm like, damn, like I really missed the mark. And I didn't know how to compartmentalize then. I know how to do it now because that took years of therapy. But overall, you have to teach kids that life can be an abundance of all circle. You have to be responsible, you have to have ordinance, you need to be disciplined, but also you need to know how to have fun, and you need to learn how to enjoy yourself and enjoy you as a being, because you are a being. So that's what I want her to kind of lean into. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about Dr. Minnie Mouse and Antonia?
Discussed it with Anthony because from what I remember from the show, isn't this the same Negro who disappeared to Atlanta to go work on a project or something away from his kids? Now
Boom.
you're suddenly so present in your kid's life. You were gone for some time away from them. It's looking like he came back is unemployed because I don't think this man is making no real money with that bullshit ass man movement. And you letting your wife make all the money. You letting your wife handle the household while you bitch and moan and cry on boats on television and argue with women. You have too much time on your hands. He seems like the type of parent that will tell his kids, like planting toxic seeds of doubt about their mom.
Dr. Scott.
That's what it gives because Yes, when kids become teenagers and, get to that age of middle school, they become a little more distant, a little more, focused on friends. But there was like almost like a slight resentment and annoyance because the little boy, camera or not, opened up when talking to his dad, but not with his mom. And so the only reason that I would think something like that would happen, especially as you get further in, the episode when she tried to have fun with them, it just seems like he has impacted their mindset a little bit. And people
Mm.
seem to think that that only happens with like, the single parents, baby mama, baby daddy situation, but it can happen in the same household. And so I was kind of disgusted with the dynamic as a whole because you work your ass off and you shouldn't have to feel mom guilt. What you should feel is equally supported by your motherfucking husband, but you don't. He couldn't even support her as a united front when talking to the kids. I should have heard, well, your mom is busy. She's very smart. She's doing what a lot of black people need to do more of. She's a doctor. She's healing those sports people that you like since he's into sports. But no, Anthony seemed to just thrive off the fact that the boys primarily align with him. And I don't like that division in households. They remind me of Marcel and the hell is her name with the big head?
Melanie?
Tisha
Oh,
and Marcel. Like as a married couple, like you could tell that Tisha's very involved in the kids, and Marcel is just like he didn't know the kids' allergies and things like that. Like it reminds me of that, except flipped. Anthony, I think, is too involved so that he don't have to work for one. He just irks me.
so from this point going forward, y'all know I call Dr. Latoya Dr. Minnie Mouse because that's what she was like her first season. I did not get a word out of her, and now second season she want to be all this talkative. Where was that first season? So she's Dr. Minnie Mouse, and he isn't going to be known as Antonia on my channel because that's what he act like is an Antonia. So Antonia, and I agree with you what you're saying, Mrs. Best. I do because for me, I feel like now that you home and now that you are present, now you want to poison and toxify their mind about their mama and not gratifying what she's doing, which is actually working hard, having her own practice, which as a doctor is very hard to do because that's a business all within itself.
Teach them
So
to uplift the black woman, and it starts at home with their mama. It
yes.
irks my freaking soul. And from going from Brandon and his wife and them kids to that convo to Anthony and the dynamic with Dr. Minnie Mouse, I could see why at one point Brandon and Anthony were friends because neither of them ain't shit.
Hi, Mel NYC Reviews. We appreciate you. Hello, K Sunday live stream. I'd never heard of this program before, but I've heard of Huntsville and DC. Yeah, this one is kind of like redheaded stepchild to Carlos because he never promotes this one well. And it's not that it's bad. It's not. It's not that it's bad at all. It's just it's more so annoying because you could tell half of these dudes is putting off of this camera and it's not landing well. Not you changing people's names. Listen. First,
And James, don't be trying to say this ain't that bad. When will you accept that you are reviewing and recapping and love to watch the great value of reality TV? Because what in the actual hell is this? The camera angles don't look bright, the lighting be off, the people look low budget. I don't understand it. And it's just toxic males
yeah,
and insecure women.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Mrs. Best said it for me, y'all, so I didn't have to say it. But yeah, I just didn't like that. I just felt like that was just crazy. But we're gonna move on. So Dr. Minnie Mouse, Colby, and Kimberly meet up for coffee. And Colby is telling Dr. Minnie Mouse how, she is tired of being pregnant. She is so sick of this. She is, at this moment just ready to give birth and ready to be done with this. And Dr. Minnie Mouse asked her, do you have everything planned and everything? Do you got your baby bag all together? And she goes, no. And she goes, if this baby decides to come early, I ain't even got a diaper for her. And I said, that's a damn shame. Where's your baby shower? Didn't you have some shit? Oh, that was a gender reveal. Okay. See, that's why this show don't need to be go. Because I was like, didn't you just have your baby shower on the show? Like, why you ain't got no damn diapers? Nobody bought you no diapers? But no, that was a gender reveal, y'all. Sorry, it was the wrong kind of party. That's when she had got mad that she found out she was having another girl. Things are coming back to me, y'all. I should have rewatched this shit before, but I didn't have time. I'm busy. But Kimberly gets there. She's late. She was actually the one that called this meeting. I was like, how the hell you gonna call him something and you late? You know, I don't like Kimberly, y'all. And then in this episode, she reminded me why I didn't like her or Marcel. But Kobe tells the ladies together that she is getting an au pair, which basically is a damn what is it? Not Mrs. Doubtfire, but basically a live-in. A
It's a
live-in.
live-in nanny
Yeah.
who can also be trained to assist you after you have the baby. They can help you with like learning how to breastfeed. They can help you with understanding sleep training. It's essentially just the French word and for nanny.
That's
That's
really what it
it.
is. Like they was just playing with words. And
Basically, she don't want to take care of no more kids. That's what I got.
that's what I got too. Because after she found out she was having a girl, that now you're getting up here. Okay. Um, the guy in the purple suit does look good. He's handsome, but to me, honestly, he's the most silent, problematic one of them all. And I'll get to that in a minute. Um, Kimberly says that she also was going to have one when she got pregnant because of how busy she was, and Kobe's like, yeah, we need one because, which we'll find out later on the episode, because she's saying that, the kids are stressing her out. Russell is not as present as he needs to be. So, I definitely felt like we signed a contract. We're ready to do this thing. So I feel like we're good for y'all. So they then mentioned the outing with Christina because, Kimberly and Christina, they're at odds with each other. And Christina basically, no, Kimberly said that she and Christina decided to agree to disagree. And I'm like, that is not what happened, Kimberly. I need you to remember the shit correctly. You went up into the people's establishment throwing aluminum foil and saran wrap all over them people's establishments, acting a damn fool because you mad about someone teasing you about having an Android phone versus an iPhone, who I think was Chelsea, but they're not gonna say it. But in all essence, I see I'm freezing a little bit, y'all. Okay. But in essence, I didn't like that. I just felt like she was taking no accountability because you brought this drama to the TV show and it didn't make fucking sense. Unless more happened, I don't really care. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that?
Kimberly wants to be the center of attention. That's why she intentionally walked in late to an event that she planned. That is why she brought those props to meet with somebody when it was supposed to be about making peace. And that is why the moment that Colby mentioned wanting an au pair, the first thing that she could say is, "Oh, I considered this. I." She has to be the center of attention, and she was getting ready to go in a negative direction with it until she saw that Colby needed it. So I was annoyed with the scene. Colby, shut the fuck up, you raggedy bitch, and be grateful that you're able to birth a healthy child. And be happy that you're able to do it with a husband that wants to do it instead of being like half of these women out here who's trying to convince their men to be happy or having babies to get them to stay. Be fucking happy that you have support. And then you act like you need help and you so busy. You have one fucking kid and you don't do shit outside of that other than your streaming. So what is the problem? And now your kid that you do have is at the age where she's in a daycare or with somebody for half of the day. In addition to that, you have family, grandparents on both sides and support in the form of friends as well. This is the most ungrateful heathen that I have ever seen come on television. And she's hiding behind her damn pregnant belly. And when your kid watches this back one day and sees how grumpy you were to have them and to have to carry them, then you're going to feel away. So I don't respect Colby at all. I thought the whole meetup was weird. I think Kim knows she came in too strong and is trying to fix that because as she goes around, she's being known to cause trouble, be too loud, be too boisterous. But I didn't like anybody really at that table. But Colby irritated me the most. Nothing is wrong with needing or wanting a nanny if you can afford it. Nothing's wrong with an au pair if you can afford it. But your husband himself has said, and you have said, that you're not working so that you could be at home and he's handling stuff. So she's always mad at him for something, for working. She's always mad. Would you rather the man be cheating? Would you rather him be out at night, not cheating, just with the guys ignoring you, leaving you at home barefoot and pregnant? No. So I don't like ungrateful people. Be happy for the blessings that you have in life instead of ungrateful. There are women who are giving birth to children who have developmental disabilities. There are women giving birth to kids. There's a woman in my apartment building who has a child who's fully disabled. She has to put the baby in a wheelchair. The child can't do anything on her own. And she loves that baby and smiles and is happy. And this bitch is pregnant with what she believes to be a healthy baby, has a healthy one already, and all she can do is complain. It's giving that she's lazy and she was probably spoiled coming up as a PK and she's lazy. And instead of standing up and being an adult and a real woman and saying, I'm not happy in this and changing it, you're bitching at other people about what you chose to do. So I don't feel sorry for her. She never wanted the baby. And my thing, if you don't want the fucking baby, bitch, use birth control. Sponge. Plan B. You have so many options. But instead she just complains and it's like, okay, well, what do you want? What are we supposed to do? The baby's coming. Like, what are we supposed to do? It's gross. Can't stand her. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
I tell you, Mrs. Best went the fuck in. She
No,
went
I didn't. It's the
in.
truth.
Watch this video back.
It's the
We had
truth.
20. You started at 1945. Go back to 1945 when we're done with this live and see what you did.
It's the
I'm here for
truth.
it though. I'm here for it though. Because it's your opinion. That's what you. That's how you
I
go.
said it last season too. I'm not feeling how she handling this. I'm not going to have zero respect for it. There's women on bed rest their whole pregnancies,
Yeah, true.
putting their bodies at risk with gestational diabetes and all types of crazy things. This woman is pregnant, glowing, thriving, has the husband. He's happy to have the baby. He's got a kid. She's got a kid already that's healthy. She has all the support in the world and is just ungrateful. I'm over it.
Yeah, all right, y'all. We gonna move it on along now. So Brandon and Christina meet up with Bravo and Lakeitha. And with Bravo update them on a new spot that he's opening up. It's called Roses Are Red. It's gonna be like a live music, poetry slams, and just kind of having like something for the community because I guess it's in like an area that's up and coming. One thing about Bravo gonna have a business. Because this is like what the second business he done opened up while being on this camera. Go ahead, Bravo. I ain't mad at you. Make your money. That's why Anthony hating. I'm seeing this now. I'm seeing it clear. I think I might have said it the first half seasons, but that's why Anthony hates him. So, Lakeitha says that she don't want him to use this business like she did with some other business, which is stay out all night. Because y'all remember, Lakeitha has she has trauma because her dad left and didn't come back home. He left at night and didn't come back home. And for Bravo, she's scared of that same thing. She has like childhood trauma that she's putting onto her marriage. And I want her to get help about that because he has to make his money. Y'all live well. And y'all have to continue to live well. He has to open up these businesses and he's choosing businesses that are successful at night. Sorry, Lakeitha, like I'm putting this on your doorstep because I feel like you just putting your childhood trauma on your husband. And to some extent, that's not fair especially if he is successful at what he's doing. I could see if the businesses wasn't bringing in no money. Then yeah, we might have to have a different conversation because not only am I worried about your safety, but you ain't bringing on no goddamn money. But it seems like Bravo does well for himself. So, ma'am, you need to get some help about that. So, in the terms of that, they also talk about Anthony's man movement thing where he had public speaking. It was funny because if y'all remember in the video, he actually had Miss Detroit speaking. And I thought this was a man movement. Why do you have Miss Detroit speaking? But nevertheless, whatever it is, I don't really care. And the guys are saying how they didn't get invites to this. And Christina was shocked that he didn't reach out to Bravo, considering Bravo has a whole bunch of businesses in the Detroit metropolitan area. Why would you not reach out to Bravo for him to speak to the youth? And I also said in my video that was very strange too. But once again, I feel like Anthony is hating. That's why he didn't call Bravo. And then Brandon said he didn't call me. He didn't send me an email either. He just called me and said, "Hey, come to the man movement march thing we have it at the high school." So as they're talking about that, they're also talking about the Dobines. And basically what Bravo was saying is that when Christina and Kimberly got into that argument, he was saying, "Hey, cool out, y'all in my establishment. I don't like that." And he says, "I didn't get an apology for it, and that was at my business. So I would appreciate, they give me an apology." So at Antonia's dinner, I'm going to bring that up. And they pretty much are all supported. Yeah, get your apology. Now, I have a difference of opinion when we get to the end of this. But Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Brandon and Christina meeting up with Bravo and Lakeith?
Lakeitha, blink twice if you okay, baby. What is going on? I'm so confused. So this
That ain't funny, but it was funny. Yes, she do look like she just stiff. It was like, damn, Lakeith.
this is really childhood trauma. Like you if you're able to identify it, go to therapy and get the help. No one should have to suffer for your trauma. But I don't think it's all because of what happened with her dad. I genuinely feel like he probably cheated or did something and they just don't want to talk
Mm.
about it. Because the way she's acting is weird. Like, it's been times my dad didn't come home. It was one time I was being watched by someone who was like a second father figure, an older cousin didn't come home as well. I'm not gatekeeping my husband when he go out. I think that man did something, and she probably just wants to protect him, thinking that it's protecting the kids. But as for the man movement, again, until Anthony can behave like a man, it's a joke. So who cares if you're invited or not?
I'm gonna say, bro, I wouldn't feel any type of way about that either because where is Anthony's businesses?
Anthony, you could tell Anthony and his wife this season are like, they act like they think that they're the stars of the show. And I don't think they realize they're the most misliked. So,
Because to me, the star of the show, to me, honestly, is Christina.
yes,
If we're really putting a star of the show, Christina, because
Christina and even Colby and
just not,
Russell are more interesting and likable than Dr. Minnie Mouse and Antonia.
yeah, because
I
I can't stand I can't stand either one of them. Like I'll never see it for Dr. Minnie Mouse. I just will never see it for her. And Antonia goes the same way. I don't see it for him as well. So but moving on from there, Dr. Minnie Mouse basically wants to have a moment with her sons. So she actually got a mobile bowling alley, which I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of cool. That was a huge ass flex. Dr. Minnie Mouse, I see you. I see you, sis. I see that was a huge ass flex to get a damn mobile. I didn't even know they had shit like that. Mrs. Best, did you know that? They had a mobile bowling alley like that?
Yes, I have seen them before. I have bowled in one before, but only in like Southern California at like elite parties that I probably shouldn't have been invited to. But all it gave to me is you're the type to buy your kids affection.
That's in my notes.
Because to me, you ain't gonna be acting like I'm not doing nothing for you when I'm the parent that stays and your daddy is the one who will exit to stage left, right, and to Atlanta. It's given that they will spoil the kids when stuff gets hard. And I think that's part of the kids' attitude, separate from Anthony kind of probably not uplifting their mom around them. But they had fun. It was nice of her to do. She's an occupational vet. She's in sports medicine. She's got money.
And yeah, I can definitely tell she can afford to do it. It's just I've never seen it. But that was pretty much what you're saying is that it does seem like she's trying to buy the kids affection. And to me, I feel like she wouldn't really have to do this had Antonia not, put the seed in the kid's head about her. Because I do agree with you. I do feel like he does that because he looks petty like that. Where he's going to say some things, well, your mama not here, she got to work late. I'm making dinner because your mama can't do it. I'm cleaning up because your mama can't do it. I'm taking you to football practice because your mama can't do it. It seems like it's that. It really does get like Antonia gives me that kind of energy where if something has to happen where he has to do it, he's putting the emphasis that Dr. Minnie Mouse can't do it because she's at work. And I'm sorry, she makes a lot of money a year doing what she does. And if it works for her in your household, you got the big ass house and several cars. So
He's
how much
just
of that?
mad. I think he has personal issues and is upset that he would be counted and viewed as successful maybe by any other person in another occupation. But having a wife that does what his wife does, I think he knows that he can never fully compare, and I think he reminds the kids of that constantly.
I agree. I agree 110% with that. So as she's talking to her kids in the bowling alley, in the mobile bowling alley, she's letting them know that she doesn't intend to be that hard on them. She just really wants them to really be as, successful as they can be as Black men. And she can't, express the importance of that enough. But she also wants to let them know that she can be fun too. And I feel like Dr. Minnie Mouse, she was overcompensating because at the end of the day, those kids are going to love you regardless, but you need to look at your fucking husband and watch him for a day. Put some cameras up around that house and see what the conversation is like without you not being there. And you might have the answer to your question. Just saying. But speaking of Dr. Minnie Mouse and Antonia, they have their dinner. Everyone's invited, all of the couples. And as everyone's starting to get there, one thing we learned about Kim is that she wasn't an AKA, she was a Delta. And I said, oh, that explains a lot. No disrespect to Deltas. I love y'all too the same. I do. I love all y'all, but But anyways, once Brandon and Christina get there, we look to see that Bravo and Brandon have on the same exact sweater, and Antonia with her messy ass was like, "Oh, you see, I don't think it's Brandon, style. I think he just like what Bravo be having on, so he go out and buy the same clothes and stuff and all that kind of stuff." I'm looking at him like, Antonia,
Can you even tell us the point of this dinner while
right?
you over here worried about what other men are wearing, who apparently these are men that you don't care for that much because you didn't personally invite them to your event anyway? I have never seen a man operate. I'm sorry, y'all gonna hate me for saying this. Outside of gay men, I don't see men act like this. I just don't. If I'm
It's
with my gay besties or something, kicking it, okay, they'll participate in the girl talk, the gossip, the shade. But traditionally, especially with Black men that are heterosexual and out with their wives, they're not going to be this petty and feminine like with other men. Because
and,
Anthony literally moves like I moved in the 10th grade.
and it's Dr. Minnie Mouse just with that smirk. And I'm looking at her like, I don't know what part of you thinks this is cute, but it's not. It's pathetic. What glorified manner do you get out of exposing some man from what he got on just because he had on the same sweater? First of all, it was a nice sweater. I would have bought the same shit and tried to wear it that night too. It's a nice sweater. Like, what the fuck?
At
And
least they could buy their own sweater instead of having to ask for their wife's debit card.
right, because we don't know where your income come from. And then another thing, I noticed again, you slighting Bravo again at this dinner. What is your gripe with Bravo, Antonia? Are you ever gonna tell us, or are you just gonna keep throwing slights at this man?
Because he and his wife hang out with Brandon and Christina. And I think that that bothers him because he has, in my opinion, a hard on for Christina that he tries to hide.
I have to pay more attention to it because I did not
I,
know.
I feel that way just from like the season one. And then I went back and I did rewatch the other season that we had missed after we stopped recapping it. And it just seems like Anthony, like it's like he has to be well liked, not just by the men, but also through the women. And I get the feeling that Brandon and Christina were likely part of the reason this show existed and part of the bigger connection. I feel like that bothers him. He just seems like someone who's easily intimidated and is always in competition within his own head because none of it makes sense. Like that
Mm,
was weird to comment on.
absolutely. So the conversation then shifts where Bravo starts it off with talking about his anniversary party because that was his anniversary of the establishment. And he was telling, about the situation between Kim and Christina and how it was really rude of them to, argue like that in his establishment. And Kimberly immediately apologized. She goes, you know what, Bravo, you are absolutely correct. I was out of line for doing that. I apologize. Marcel, on the other hand, said, bro, if you had a problem with that, why you didn't say nothing when you was at the event? Why you ain't say nothing when you was there? Like, I'm not the kind of man that's just going to let shit fester. I'm going to say something when it needs to be said. So why you just now bringing this up?
Shut up, man movement 2.0. Where's your W2?
I said, Marcel, your wife just apologized because she knew she was out of line. So why couldn't you, as a united front, just give that man what he wanted and appease him to say, yeah, I apologize on my wife's behalf because we normally act better than that when we're out in public and amongst our friends. We don't really do all of that. But instead, you gonna chest up on this man and have an attitude because he's telling you, which once again, I'm gonna get on Bravo ass in a minute, but in which he's right. That is his establishment. You were invited as a guest of his to celebrate his restaurant being open for 2 years, which we all know at the time he opened the business was during the pandemic, and it was during a time where businesses were failing left and right. So the fact that he was able to keep it, that's a huge accomplishment. And that's so sad that we have to continue to do that. But a lot of businesses do fail in the first year. It's a known thing. So to me, I felt like I actually respected Kimberly for giving an apology. But Bravo was like, that's how I felt in the moment. And Kimberly did reiterate, we did apologize to you at the event after me and Christina got into it. And Bravo said he didn't recall that. So Carlos, of course, being messy, replays where she did say apologize and he said it's okay. So Bravo, either one, I would have appreciated you more if you say you didn't remember her apologizing, because then that's the difference. Because I felt like she did too, but I didn't remember. And once again, I don't give a fuck about these people enough to really remember some shit like it, whether or not she apologized, because we just met her. So what the hell do we have to remember what she says? But he was wrong for carrying this if she did in fact apologize that night. I didn't like that at all. So Mrs. Best, how did you feel about
I want Bravo and his spouse to talk about their real issues and not go back on some old stuff. If something like this was really bothering you, you should have brought it up separately, not at the dinner table, regardless if it was, they apologized or not. Um, I think Kim and her husband, they remind me like the niggers in my neighborhood who came up on some money, got them big settlement checks, got them some new shoes, a nice house. They listened to their great auntie, probably Scrappy's aunt, to help them understand how to keep their credit up and keep their things. But I don't know. I
that?
Kim
It does confuse.
apologized. She apologized, which I was glad that she did. Um, but I think they also, her husband didn't have to do all of that. But Bravo also, in my opinion, like once she apologized at the table again and she did it instantly, why are we still discussing it? Like, you didn't have to go into extra detail for her to understand that what she did was wrong. And like Russell said, now you're bringing something up at somebody else's dinner. So at this point, it's kind of, this is my problem with Love and Marriage as a franchise. Like, why are we discussing the same shit? It's like, okay, someone did something to you. They said sorry. You got what you wanted. You're still going. If it's like with a spouse or over something that's more important, I would understand that. But these are just some random people that you don't even really hang out with like that unless you're in this group. So you got the apology, move forward. I don't
I
get
agree.
it.
I
But
didn't
then
get
I
it.
also felt like Kim's husband, the other Dobine, I don't like how he moves in general. He moves like if you piss him off in a second, he'll forget all that he's worked for. I'm sorry, all that his wife has worked for. So I don't know. I don't like these people, James. And I'm like, Carlos, you from Detroit. This is the best you could do. This is the best you could do.
Apparently so. This is the best he could do with the time that he had, apparently, because to me, I just kind of felt like you felt. I felt like I don't like this cast either. I've never liked this cast. Like, and no matter who they bring on, like, I don't have a now here's the thing. I don't have a problem with Bravo and Lakeitha, but I do feel like they are keeping things from us that would make sense long term, if that makes sense to you. Like it would make sense if he's had infidelity because then her emotion of how she feels about him being gone during the night would then make sense. I wouldn't want you to leave home either if I forgave you and then initially you out all night at a club. Nonetheless, I could see if his business was, he had an urgent care somewhere. But the fact is, you have entertainment establishments. So yeah, there is some concern. But then I'm like, look, Keith, why can't you go with him? Why you can't be at the establishment working with him? What are you
Because
doing that
you
night?
could put the babies to sleep and then call your Uber and be on the way.
Okay, for real. And tell your mama, or cousin, or auntie, or somebody to come watch these kids. All they doing is sleeping. I just need to go up to this business and help, run these businesses. So that's why I'm saying, like that's the only thing. That's my only gripe with Bravo and Lakeitha is that I feel like they not really being like forthcoming. And y'all on reality TV, that shit gonna come to light. Whatever
Yep.
it is that y'all are hiding, it's gonna come to light. So I don't know. Y'all might as well just get in front of it. But we then move on to Russell. He's bringing up, to the other parents of the household, their daughter has a hard time sleeping through the night and in their bed, and all kids go through this. This is something all kids have done, where they get up in the middle of the night, they come ask you to sleep, and I was like, this is so fitting that they're about to have another baby and they can't get the other baby in the bed, and so and Antonia with her messy ass again said, well, y'all about to have a French nanny, so what y'all worried about? Y'all finna have it taken care of. And I said, why is you putting these people business out there like that, Antonia? Damn, not everybody at this table knew about that shit. And Kobe had to correct him. No, it's not a French nanny. It's a
Yes,
toy.
it is. Google the definition of what an au
I know
pair
exactly
is.
what it is, but
That's exactly what it is. And that showed you that Antonia is at home while his wife is working hard because he had the time to Google that.
oh,
Drunken mind is sober thoughts
for
also for the
real.
rest of what you gonna say. Drunken mind, sober thoughts.
So they are beginning to explain to the rest of the couples what it is, and I feel like it's not that big of a deal. It's like if that's what they want and they got the money to do it, then what the hell are we, arguing about it over? But Antonia was doing her some mess, baby, Miss Antonia. I can't stand you at times, Anthony, but still, you do a lot. I'm gonna go back and forth with your name 'cause I don't want to disrespect you as a black man, but you do a lot on this camera.
He disrespects himself as a black man. He left his family and his wife for something, then cried about it on a boat, gaslit everybody, argued with and attacks women. He disrespects himself.
I can't argue with that either. My best friend has spoken, y'all. That's why she my best friend. So, the last scene we're gonna talk about is Kobe and Russell, and y'all, I felt two ways about this. Like Mrs. Best, I'm getting sick of them as a couple. I'm getting sick of them because I don't understand what the fuck the problem is. So they're at the gym arguing about potty training. Of all the fucking things to argue about, they're arguing about potty training. Russell is at his business. He's trying to do the grand opening. He's trying to get everything in order. And the baby is out there running around and she hears them arguing. And she's like, and Kobe's like, Russell, I need you to be on board with me with this potty training. We got to get her potty trained. She's 3 years old. She needs to be potty trained by now. And I need your help. It seems like every time I ask you to do something, you're not available to that. And as soon as the baby come in the room, did she go, they're like, do you need to go to the potty? And then he look in her diaper. He goes, no, it's full. And she goes, that's what I'm talking about. Because he tells the baby, it's okay, let's go change your diaper. And she goes, that's what I'm talking about, Russell. That's what I'm talking about. We're not on the same page. And so Russell lets it know in a confessional that the baby tells him that mommy fusses at her, when she doesn't use the toilet and everything like that. And mommy is mean about it. And she even says, I'm mad at you, mommy. You're mean. And Kobe starts crying. And she tells Russell, I need you to be on the same page with me. Don't reward her if she didn't use the bathroom or the toilet. Don't tell her it's okay because it's not okay. And okay, I get what she's saying. I 100% agree with her that they do need to be on the same page when it comes to parenting a child. Because when you parent a child different, they tend to run to the nicer parent because they get their way and not go to the mean parent as much when the mean parent is only looking out for their good. Because the baby's 3 years old, that baby should be potty trained by now. It should not take this long. So directly, I understand Kobe. But what I would like her to do is instead of complaining about it, drop the baby off to him at some points. Drive up to the place. Here's your baby. I got shit to do. And that's problem solved right there. Or be present with him or have him be present with you when it comes to the baby's potty training. Maybe say, hey, come in and sit in with me with this and make sure you both are on the same page. There's ways you can do it. And I feel like her venting the frustration, he doesn't see it because he's not in the moment. Russell gives me that kind of man that he has to be in the moment with shit. Otherwise, he's never going to get it. But that's just my opinion. Mr. Just, how do you feel about that?
So potty training for kids, as someone who's worked in daycare and potty trained thousands of kids, it should start somewhere between 2 and 3 years old. It usually takes longer with boys, and with girls, it usually goes faster. However, there are some kids that won't be fully potty trained until later, like usually once they're like 5. That's when you get to that point. And even then, kids will still have accidents. Colby needs to stop expecting her child to just be perfect. I think a piece of that, what that he said, was super important. And I know it's controversial because everyone has kids and they do things differently with their kids, but I really think this woman like resents not being the center of attention, because if we go back to the prior season when she was expressing her disdain for having to have another baby, especially a daughter, she's like, "Oh, my daughter preferences Russell." So it seems like, and I went through this with my mom, and she never got over it, and it's part of the reason now things are the way they are in adulthood. Some women can become jealous of their daughters because of the relationship that they have with their fathers. That's something my therapist helped me to see and realize. That's something my mom has admitted also to myself and other siblings and things of that nature. Because Colby was used to being the center of attention, not having to work, just being a cute mom, doing things that she was doing. And then babies come and they take away from the attention. So I feel like you can't be hard on a 3-year old. That's when they're just starting potty training. Like, she's going to have accidents. She's going to go to the bathroom sometimes. You're not there to monitor it all of the time. That's why it's a tricky thing for parents to get their kids to learn. Our parents all struggled with us. So I got that. But then the other thing is, I'm like, okay, once again, she sat her ass up there complaining and bitching and crying, and he had to get up and go and change the diaper. You can teach your kids something and discipline them and train them with potty training while also utilizing positive reinforcement methods, right? And what Russell is doing, I see what she's saying, where you want him to like, it's okay, baby. He should absolutely say that, because it is okay if she had an accident, right? It is okay if she doesn't use the toilet. But you still remind her after saying that. Next time, can you use the bathroom for daddy? Can you remember to use the potty? You tell me. Interrupt. But if the child is being berated or feels like their parent is getting mad at them, like Colby, when they're not using the restroom, then they may not be so comfortable saying, "Mommy, I have to potty," like the babies be doing and running to the potty. So I think there's some error on both of their way in both of their ways. I don't think they're going to make it as a couple. I think the only reason they're together at this point is religion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
And
for sure feel that way.
because it's like, how can you be mad at him for supporting your child and then you're bitching and you're not willing to do the work? It's like, if you're gonna hire an au pair anyway, why not hire one now and have them do one of their job duties, such as help with potty training? So I'm just annoyed with this couple. I don't think they're gonna make it. I'm over it, and I said all I could say about her without being mean. So yeah.
You weren't mean in the beginning. You just said how you felt, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like Shana said, two things could be true. You went in, and it's the truth because it is. It is the truth. Like, to me, I feel like she just doesn't do well pregnant. She just doesn't. Because I don't remember her being like this first season, and of course, I didn't watch all of the first season because
Was
I
like
couldn't.
this. She was like this. She complained about the relationship that he had with the daughter. She's a daddy's girl. I wish she was this way with me even before getting pregnant or talking about it. She seemed to have resentment and disdain against him being and wanting to become a preacher because she had negative feelings about being a PK herself. Colby complains about shit that she has the power to change. I wish that she would just change something because it's
Right,
getting
because
old.
to me, I feel like then that's counterproductive, ma'am. Then what are you actually doing? Because to me, you can't marry somebody, have all these preconceived notions, and then when he then gives you the life you're trying to run away from, then what you marry him for? Because I'm sure these were not conversations. I don't remember. Y'all might have to go back and rewatch the first season because I don't remember. Was he always in ministry, or was that something he just decided?
No, he sprung it on her in the first season. He was basically running around with her dad, and
Oh,
she did not like that. And it makes me like, I feel like,
okay. So she's
regardless,
finishing him out of coerce.
basically, so
Oh, okay. I got you.
regardless, I would still feel the same way about Colby, because I think that's a horrible character flaw for any person to have. If you have the power to make a change as an adult, then change it. Don't make complaints and then complain to do nothing to make it to where you're complaining less. That, like you said, that's counterproductive.
That
However,
is.
comma, if she would go into detail about why being a PK was so traumatic for her, which she didn't really do. She was kind of doing it with Christina when they were cool, and then they kind of went separate ways. If she would go into detail about what happened, then I feel like maybe we could empathize with her a little more. But even then, if you are not happy, ma'am, then you do not have to be in this situation. Do what you want. And if it leads to the demise of your marriage, it leads to the demise of your marriage. Because if that man is a preacher and wants to be in ministry, then he himself believes that he shouldn't just quit the marriage and should work and try to hear you. But it's like she's pushing herself into a corner and then expecting everyone else to feel sorry for her. And it sounds like she's being cruel to her child as well. That's just my personal opinion. So I'm not feeling Colby. I don't think this show is good for them. They would have done better if they kept Grown and Gospel going.
I
They
agree.
would have done
I
much
actually
better.
like that show, and I hope. I don't know if Carlos is bringing that show back. I don't think so because it's been so long since that was one of the first shows I did on my channel.
And that
I'm.
was TV. That was a whole different network. I don't think they want to mess with him like that.
Hmm. But yeah, I agree with you. I feel like Kobe. I'm not. Yeah, her pregnant. I'm not liking. Maybe when she has the baby, she'll be different. But for now, she's not.
She'll be the same. It's just her nature. She complains. I think she was taught in how, from what little we did see from her dad, it seems like she was taught as a wife. It seems like she's conditioned to think that she has to be silent and just take it and be grateful that this man ain't cheating on her and is providing. But just because someone is faithful and can pay the bills doesn't mean that they're doing enough to keep you happy. You know what I mean? So she she needs a lot. She needs to do some introspection. And I don't think this show is the place to do it. And then I don't like how she, like, depending on who she's around is who she's cool with. Like, there's times I like her, but a lot of times I just don't. So she's got to figure it out. I feel bad for the kids, honestly.
I do too because initially they're gonna see this one day. They're gonna see this and then think, "Oh, Mama didn't want me," or "Mama was so mean," and it may never change. You get what I'm saying? Like her ways of being may never change to where they're teenagers and she's even worse. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like so. I hope not. I hope those girls have wonderful experiences of Kobe. I hope she really looks at this and
I mean,
thinks,
she's being mean to a 3-year-old already about potty training. Like, you start potty training usually around the age that her daughter is at. It's not to be expected to be completed. You start the process that takes years at this time. So the fact that she has that energy toward him and the baby is weird. Your child should not feel like mommy gets mad at me. For a 3-year-old to express that is concerning. Like, professionally for me and ethically, it is
no, it was
concerning.
mommy's mad at no, and I'm mad at mommy because she's mean to me. It was like the things that that baby was saying. It was like, oh damn, the fact that that baby even know to say that. It's like shit.
And I believe a kid before I believe any fucking
Me
adult.
too. Yeah,
I
me
believe
too.
kids before any of y'all, because kids, certain things when it comes to these kids, they just don't lie about. So I think that Colby and Russell, they need marriage counseling, not the kind you get in the church, but the kind where you actually go to a certified counselor that's going to teach you things. I also think that they could utilize and work in some parenting classes, which do exist that a lot of people don't take advantage of, because
Hmm.
sometimes you need the help. It takes a village. That's where it comes from. So utilize the village, get some help. Because I'm baffled at this woman's frustration with potty training. Like, of all things, girl, they're kids.
I agree. I agree 110%, y'all. But that was pretty much the episode. That was pretty much it, you guys. I didn't really dive into much. This was a horrible opening after being gone for so long. I feel like this was not the drama that I needed. But it seems like they're going to give it to us in real life, and this, I'm here for it for the moment. I can drop the show at any time. I'm trying to stick with it for a full season. So we
I
will
think
see.
you should keep it.
You think
It's
I
not a bad, like, the thing is, the show is not bad. You could tell that there was a lot that the production people are editing out, like with that Bravo and Kim Dobine's husband, whose name I don't care to learn. Like, you could tell there was probably more said that we didn't see. There was probably more that went on that we also didn't see. Like, it's just editing. I think with this cast, they're okay. I like this cast better than Love and Marriage Huntsville. The only people
Um,
I don't like on here to where I like strongly dislike them really are Dr. Minnie Mouse and her husband. Like I don't have to love them to be good TV.
yeah, I could see why they're needed. Absolutely. Hey,
Yeah.
Jim Rocks. I could see why they're needed. I do because they're definitely entertaining as far as like the drama goes, more so from Antonia's side than it was Dr. Minnie Mouse. But directly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like Kimberly and Marcel. And when it
Oh,
comes
nobody does.
and then when it comes to Bravo and Lakeitha, I just feel like, yeah, they're hiding something that they don't want seen on camera. And I feel like for me, that's going to be a problem later on.
Oh,
Like,
random. L Mel NYC reviews. I subscribe to you.
yeah, I think I'm subscribed to you as well. Let me make sure. I'll go back, and if I'm not, I'll make sure to subscribe. Y'all subscribe to Mel NYC Reviews, please. Show my people's loves. They do. Subscribe to Shana. Her information for both channels is in my description box. Y'all subscribe to these people now. We all black people need to stick together on these white platforms. Just saying.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Yes,
we
yes.
do.
But that's it, you guys. That was Love and Marriage Detroit. Thank you guys for all being here. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. We will be back on my channel tomorrow for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Am I done with Married to Medicine? I believe so.
Why wouldn't you?
I think I'm done with Married to. I don't think there's an episode of Married to Medicine. Yeah, I'm done with Married to Medicine. So it's just
It's
Real
the
Housewives.
third. It's the third part of the reunion. The final part.
We did it.
No, we did part two.
Do I have it wrong on my channel? Hold on.
Potentially, because I have it on my DVR schedule. The final part's supposed to air.
Let's see. One, two. No, we did it.
There's all three. Married to Medicine's gone.
Married to Medicine's gone. Yeah, I have all
Oh,
three. I have all three videos.
oh hell. Well, that's how weak it was. My God, that damn
Yeah, I have all
reunion.
three videos. Yep. So we're done with Married to Medicine.
I guess I can do the to go over the Valley cast
Okay, and then I'll watch
tomorrow.
it. I'll watch it then. All right.
Well, yeah. All right.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for being here. Y'all have a good one now. Bye bye.